Welcome back to Over the Line. It is Thursday, February 8th of 2018, and we're risking the United States government having another government shutdown because if a spending bill does not get passed by midnight, that's what's going to happen yet again. So, Gerald, what are some of the facts behind this? Like, what needs to happen for the shutdown to not go into place?
Well, the Republicans essentially need 60 votes. Now, the Republicans have 51 guaranteed Republican votes on their side, or at least 51 Republicans in the Senate. Some of them not so guaranteed, but that would entail that if all 51 Republicans did vote for this bill, the Republicans would still need 9 Democrat votes. Now, a lot of Democrats are against this bill because it takes away protections from DACA immigrants under DACA. The bill also has extra spending for the military and other things like that, and it's really interesting that, again, we're headed towards another government shutdown. What is this? It hasn't been a month. We were just talking about this last month.
Yeah, and as far as like some of the other specifics that are in this bill, it's being debated. Like, it is a huge increase for the military. We know that. It's like over $100 billion of additional military spending in the budget. It's like about $20 billion for infrastructure, which is like a drop in the bucket by comparison, but that is something that the country actually desperately needs. We have like a D+ infrastructure grade.
Yeah. Just drive on 295 right outside Fort Meade.
And really, that's something that I think both parties should be able to agree on doing. Like, that should just be a clean, separate thing, honestly. I don't know why it's a bargaining chip and all this. But speaking of chip, we have the child health care thing as well that's in there. But I don't know. It's tough for me to say because I feel like if you are on the Democratic side, you are the minority party, so you don't really have a ton of leverage here. But I don't know. I mean, like, you got to try to push for your constituents somehow.
Yeah, I mean, even with a shutdown looming, the White House is even saying government agencies do prepare for a shutdown. You know, Trump has even said we'll give them a shutdown if Democrats don't want to do this, that, or the other. Then a shutdown we'll have. So we have. It's interesting, the White House, especially the president, is saying, let there be a shutdown, which I find really interesting. But that's the thing right now, and that's what's so crazy about it, is nothing is going to get done. Nothing has seemingly been able to get done, honestly, in the last year. And this right here, I think, is a tipping point. Democrats, honestly, the only weapon they do have, honestly, is a shutdown, which, again, is not good for anybody, but again, they're talking about taking protections away from a lot of immigrants here that are under DACA that have gone through the channels to get that. And, Republicans are throwing it in their face, essentially.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll say about the Republican Party and the amount of votes they need, there's no way they're getting all the Republicans. We already know that Rand Paul is very much against this. He went off on a tangent about how he went into government to be against all of the Obama administration's extra spending, and now, he's like, well, basically, I can't in good conscience go along with the same stuff now that my party's doing it.
Yeah.
So he's against it. We know Nancy Pelosi came out heavily against it. She went on some 8-hour speech.
It was like an 8-hour filibuster. Like, whoa. Yeah, I remember hearing about that, and I actually was at the gym earlier when Rand Paul was on his speech. He had the cardboard posters, to switch them out. I'm like, geez, man, get a PowerPoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how the votes come in, because I think most likely scenario is the shutdown. I think there's an outside chance they could get enough votes just because there's a couple Democrats, including Chuck Schumer, that actually seem on board with the way the budget shakes out. But that's also kind of on the pretense that with Mitch McConnell saying, oh, we'll give DACA a separate vote. But, can you really trust that? And can you really trust that it's going to go through on a separate vote?
Exactly. And, honestly, I think DACA is one of the most important components of this right now. And I think it's one of the most heavily debated within the Senate right now that I don't think you can trust McConnell. There's no way.
No, I mean, this is a guy that's prided himself on, bragging about the Democrats begging for gun control and making sure they don't budge an inch. He's not going to budge an inch on anything.
Nah. But I mean, we're going to see, we still, whenever this video goes up, I mean, yeah, we're going to see what happens. I mean, hopefully they come to a decision that works for everybody. That, you know, that's a dream world, you know, something that works for everybody. But yeah, the countdown to midnight is still on. We'll see where it lands.
And of course, we'll provide updates after the fact on what's next with the government, because a lot of these things are now coming into Congress's hands. Like with all the talk about Trump, no, I mean, it's really...
It's Congress.
It's coming down to the Congress. What are they passing? What are they not passing? Is the government going to get shut down? Honestly, Trump doesn't have a whole lot to do with that.
Pay attention to your Congress. I mean, we've said this on air millions of times. Like, Congress is the one with the real power. I mean, at the end of the day, this shutdown's on Congress on both sides. So, looking to see who's running for office in 2018. Take care.